Welcome to Transparent with Tina. I'm your host, Tina Marx, and today I'm interviewing an amazing actor and writer who is starring in the newly released Netflix series, Never Have I Ever, and coming soon, the new American Pie movie, American Pie Presents Girls Rule. I love that. Please welcome my nephew, Darren Barnet. Welcome, Darren.
Hey, Tina, how's it going? Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here, especially with your busy schedule. I mean, Never Have I Ever just came out on Monday, which happened to be your birthday as well. Which was, that was crazy. I mean, did you know ahead of time that then it was going to be released then?
No, I heard, some people talking about it, but I was like, there's no way it can be that serendipitous. And then lo and behold, it came out on my birthday. So I was.
Right. Well, do you believe in that? First of all, do you believe in there's no coincidences and
every year I believe it more.
Yeah.
It's because I see it come to fruition. And this whole past year with all the projects I've done and all of the things that I've, I guess I want to say tried to manifest for so long, really came like a domino effect. So it was crazy.
My name of my book, right?
Yeah.
So it has absolutely exploded. I see that it's #1 on Netflix nationwide, 10 worldwide, but then this morning I saw that it's actually #1 in France and Germany as well.
Yeah, it went #1 in France, Germany, South Africa, multiple countries in Asia. Someone just sent me something from Peru and then Portugal. I mean, I can't even begin to explain how happy I am. So
yeah, and you went from 70,000 followers, and last time I checked it was 384 in 5 days.
I had 34,000 on Monday, and now it's gone to 386, I believe.
Oh my gosh. And you had 68,000 likes on your last post. I mean, it's insane. I mean,
yeah.
Is it surreal, or is it hey, I've worked this hard and I knew it was going to happen someday, but
I've known in this business, the bigger, things that I do, the more, notoriety you get in terms of social media. And I knew that would happen. I didn't expect it to happen so quick.
Yeah.
Because I'm the person that's I want to go and comment and say hi to everyone that's saying hi to me. And it honestly is impossible now. And I would
because that's all you'd be doing all day long, right?
All day. So I'm glad I never made that promise but when I had 34,000 people following me, I would, try to do that. I'd at least like every comment. And, I'm glad I never made the promise. I'll always do this because it's unfortunately impossible.
And for those viewers watching, I do know that is truth. He's not just saying that. I'm his aunt, and that's just the kind of guy he is. So why don't you tell us, so you played Paxton, the high school hunk, okay? And the first scene, and when you're coming out of that swimming pool in slow motion, it's you can feel all the girls gasping. Tell us about Paxton.
Yeah, thank God I spent so much time in the gym for that big debut of a scene. But Paxton was, the original audition was, just Paxton, the aloof high school heartthrob jock, and I've read for these roles so many times. So honestly, I was just okay, it's just another day, and I went in and auditioned for it, and I didn't even know Mindy Kaling. I knew Mindy Kaling, but when it said at the time it was called the Untitled Mindy Kaling Project.
Yes. And
we didn't have a title, and the name didn't register for me. So the next thing I knew, I was in testing with Mindy Kaling. I walk in the room and I'm I verbatim, I was oh, wow. I'm Mindy Kaling. I was I'm kind of freaking out. And she, the whole room laughed and it really broke the ice. But then they really got to, I got to understand that Paxton is not just the high school heartthrob. He's someone with a heart of gold underneath. And that's where I felt I could relate, because I've been a book somewhat judged by his cover a lot by people, throughout life. So, and I do feel that I have a good heart. So it was bleeding that through, and they really let me kind of take the reins and do that on set and make it my own, and it was a lot of fun.
So when you say you've been judged in the past by that, is that because people judge you on your looks and think that maybe you're going to be arrogant or things like that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's mostly the amount of times I've gotten, hey, before I got to know you, I really thought you were a real jerk. And I'm like, thanks,
Yeah.
So it's like people are like, yeah, I don't know, like I wouldn't want to say one of the popular kids in school. I was kind of from like the opposite side of the tracks, I guess you would call it. Like I was from a neighborhood way across town, and my school was a bad area, and my mom wanted me to go somewhere else, so I went to a school across town. I took a test to get admitted, and I wouldn't say I was popular because all these kids have been together since like first grade, but I was
That's
like,
when you moved, because you grew up in Los Angeles. That
grew up in
just
LA,
so everybody knows. Then you moved with your mom, because your mom and dad and my brother got a divorce, and you moved to Florida. And what grade was that?
I was in 7th grade when I moved to Florida.
That's what I thought. It was way before high school, right? Okay. So
Yeah.
that adjustment could not have been easy, leaving all your friends. And did you form a lot of good relationships in high school? And
I've always been a one person at a time kind of guy. And, I've always had like one close person that I would like take a bullet for. And then like everyone else is just, I'm great. I'm cool with everyone. I just don't confide in people like that more than one at a time. So I think I was liked by, I like to say I was liked by everyone, but I think some people may have thought I was arrogant because I was kind of to myself if it weren't for like my buddy, But yeah, I got along with everyone. I didn't really have a clique.
Yeah, I was the same way. I was, we could belong to the group, but it was just my girlfriend and myself, and I just found it safer that way. So let me ask you, so when did you decide that that's what you wanted to do? Because you did go to college after high school.
Yeah.
And you got your, you went to, what was it, Barry in Georgia, right?
Yeah, I got a full ride scholarship to a school in North Georgia.
Full scholarship, right? Yeah, exactly. So when was it that you decided? Because I knew you tried broadcasting for a little bit at your school.
I wanted to be an actor since I could remember. I remember first saying it when I was 4 or 5 to both my mom and dad, and I was always the kid doing impersonations, and I was doing dialects and very quickly. And when I told my parents this, as you know, both of my parents dabbled in acting, and they both were like, I mean, and I understand, like when you tell your parent, like you want to go after the most competitive career in the world, all they want to do is be like, maybe entertain your energy in another direction, and so I remember like they were like, it can be really hard. And all I ever heard was like, do you want to be like our family friend? I won't say his name, but he's been working as a waiter he's 55 and he works as a waiter. Like, do you want that life? And I was just like, okay, like maybe it's not all that great, but I just wanted to do it. So my dad took me to an agent when I was like 7, and I went in, and it was a very, like, I want to say Disney Channel audition. She wanted me to be like, acting on my hind legs. And I was a shy kid. I don't know if you remember that. And she comes out.
Absolutely.
Tells my dad, she's like, he's very shy. And my dad was like, see, kid, you're too shy. Like, why don't you try something else? And that was like all that they ever entertained it. Like that's the only shot I got. So it was kind of crushing to me at the time. And then throughout, when I told you I had to, my high school that I was zoned for was not a great school. They actually had like a gang riot the first day they opened. And my mom was like, I don't want you to go to this school. Like, why don't you get into a magnet program? So I had to take a test to go to school across town. And originally I was going to go be part of their visual performing arts magnet. Ended up not really liking it, did something else. But it was when I was in college that I started doing plays and making short films and student films. And I was just like, this is it. Like, this is what I can't deny it any longer. And my mom was like, great. So what are you going to do now? You have all these job offers, all these things. And I was like, I'm going to go take the biggest risk of my life. And I did. And I'm glad I did.
And that was moving to Los Angeles and really getting out there, right? So did you go when you got to Los Angeles, did you go to acting school? What did you do?
Yeah, I wanted to sign up for classes, but I'm not gonna lie, it's like getting back here, like the family looking at me like, oh, like you have college on your side, you have this on your side. Like I could have been doing anything, and I've always known that about myself, which is why I think I wanted to do acting so bad, because I was like, anywhere else I went, I knew for a fact, like, not to be arrogant, like I could climb the ladder anywhere I went, and I believed myself that I could reach the top. but it was just so predictable for me. Like I acting was the one thing where I was like, I don't know where this dragon is going to take me. And that's what I love about it. And so I got back and I just needed a foot in the door, and I was on Craigslist looking for anything, and I found extras casting. And so it was just to be like a featured extra in the background. And so I went to this guy's office, and the guy was about to sign me up, and he's like, you sure you want to be an extra? And I was like, well, no, like I want to act, but I don't know where to start. This is all, I'm just trying, you know? And he's like, there's an agency on this floor. You should really go talk to him. And I heard at the time, like, it's not good to do that. They should approach you. They get annoyed, And so I had to.
This is what the casting director.
This was at the extras casting.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, but right there, how often does that happen?
Yeah, I don't know, and I was like, maybe I'm just looking good today. I don't know. But I owed the guy $20 to sign up for the service, and I didn't have it. I was so broke, and I was like, I need to figure this out. I'll be back tomorrow. So the next day I acquired $20, and I'm driving back, and I'm like, maybe I should, like, why not? I gave the agency a call that he told me was on the same floor, and they were like, oh, this is Darren Barnet. And I was like, what? And they were like, yeah, we saw you in the lobby, and we really like your look, and we asked the guy about you, and he, said you were coming back today. They're like, why don't you come into our office? So I went into their office, and they signed me like on the spot after hearing me read a couple scripts, and they signed me on the spot. And that was, I took that for granted a long time.
Wow.
Because it's not easy for some people to find reps. And I took that for such granted for so long until I saw all my friends struggling, to find anyone. And I just, right place, right time, and it worked out.
Oh yeah, right on. So let me ask you, during those times before that happened, did you ever doubt yourself? Did you ever say, you know what, this is just ridiculous. There's too much competition. I'm a small fish in a big pond, and maybe I just don't have what it takes.
I've had some of the darkest points of my life over it. And there were times I got really self-destructive emotionally, because it was just like, it's a career where, like, I've gotten one like, I started quick, like, auditioning for bigger projects, which was great, but it also was like, I was told no for years. And then I started getting and then my representatives were like, you don't understand though, like, the way this works, like, people want to see you. So this is great, because a lot of people can't even get an audition. And I'm like,
in the door, right?
Okay, so you try and stay positive. And then I get closer, and then I would start getting callbacks. And then you dwell on the callback, they called me back. They obviously liked me, but they didn't pick me. So what is it? And you take it personally, and then that drives you nuts. And then I got even closer, and I did my first network test, where, like, I see the role and the money on the table and everything, how this can be life-changing. Oh my gosh. And then last minute, it's ripped out from under you.
Yep.
And I was at that point where I was, like, with my friend one night on the street, and I'm just going to say it. I started punching a lamppost, like a concrete lamppost. And I was in tears, and I was broken down. And I was like, dude, like, if I can't do this, I don't want to do anything else. And it's a scary thought.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine, like, I want this so bad, and I can't, if I had to do anything else, I don't know if it'd be worth it. Like, and he was like, it was really dark. And he was like, dude, you got to understand, like, you can't take this personally, and you're in a better spot than most people. And, like, you have to, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. And so, yeah, there were plenty of times where I was so broken down and so defeated, and so, like, what's the point, that I wanted to quit. And my mom, it was funny enough at the time, was like, Darren, how can you quit something that you barely even started? She was like, you're barely in it. You've barely started. Everything takes time. If you quit, you have no one to blame but yourself. And I took that in, and
good for her. Good for
yeah.
her. Yep. So would you say that was one of the major motivators, was your mom in pushing you?
Huge. Yeah, huge. My mom is when we moved to Florida, it was, a single parent household and very, very low income. My mom made like $17,000 a year. Like, that's how tight it was. And so moving back to California, I didn't have a lot of help, really any help financially. Like, I had my stepdad that, thank God, allowed me to live with him for a while. And then, he did charge me rent, which I'm glad he did. Mm-hmm. But my mom, like when I was at my most broken and I couldn't afford acting class anymore, and she stepped up and was like, I've never been able to help you out financially, and I need to help you out now. So she found a way and helped me out with my acting classes for a while, and kept me in it, which I think saved me, because that was like some of my only therapy. You know, it's being on set is my ultimate therapy. Being able to take on a role is my ultimate therapy, and my ultimate it's something I can't describe. And so acting class before I was working, you know, somewhat consistently, it was the closest thing I had. And
Wow.
she helped me to keep that in my life. So yeah.
Everybody needs a support system, you know, and every successful person that I know has a morning routine or a daily routine. Do you have something like that you do like every day, whether it's meditation, exercise, journaling, affirmations, anything like that?
I'm trying to get better at it, because lately, I'm not gonna lie, it's been checking Instagram, and that's I know it's a horrible way to start the day.
Don't leave Facebook out.
Yeah, it's also new to me, so it's been like that. But I realized like I've been trying now, like instead of having the first light my eyes see being my phone, like I tried before I touch my phone, like I sit and this is something I have done for about a year and a half now, is that I wake up and I say thank you for like just small things, you know, like thank you for my eyes, my ears, my mouth, my 10 fingers, my 10 toes, my 2 legs, my 2 arms, like things that you always look over, but not everybody actually has, you know, and things that are so taken for granted. So it starts my day smaller.
Absolutely. And
yeah.
You know, and I tell all of my clients, I mean, without my morning routine, because I am not that person that gets up in a great mood. I mean, I wake up with a lot of self-defeating thoughts. So, you know, I go through that. It's like putting my armor on for the day. And then whenever I have a challenging situation, it's so much easier to get through. But, you know, they say the worst thing to do is put on the news or look at your email or look at your phone, because all of a sudden, you know, all this comes flooding in, and before you've even got a chance to kind of connect with yourself, right?
Yeah. I mean, you wake up doing that and you're pulled in 50 different directions, and you're spread very thin, and then your stress and your tension is so high all of a sudden, and then that sets up the whole day. So just being thankful, you know, being thankful and showing gratitude before I wake up has really been transformative for me, because, you know, then huge problems don't seem that bad, because I'm like, I'm still walking, aren't I?
Right.
All right, I can do it.
Exactly. I hope everybody heard that, because that is it's monumental. So, you know, you are now, you know, the Heist, your show's about high school kids. I have somebody that wants to jump on, who's in high school. He is my son and your cousin, and
my little cuz.
he wants to ask a couple questions of you. So there he is. Can we see your face, Morgan? Hey, what happened? There you are.
What up, buddy?
What's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Been good, man. Yeah, it's crazy time right now, but a good time. Are you in the car right now?
Yeah, I'm on the way to Havasu, actually.
Oh, that's sick, dude.
I thought I was going to get here like near 12, so I was just going to use the laptop, but I'm just using my phone.
It's all good, man.
Try and keep it steady.
Trying to keep it so it's not like overexposed, but yeah, congratulations on the Netflix series. It's awesome.
Thanks so much, bro.
Like skyrocketed like insanely fast. It's awesome.
You know, we were kind of expecting it, but not to this magnitude. So it's crazy time. Good stuff, bro.
So I got into some questions I was brainstorming, and
yeah, man.
Like people my age, or like young adults that want to do acting or filming, or just somewhat in that nature of what you like. Have any advice on like a certain path you should take, or like just anything?
Yeah, I do. I've really I've thought about it lately, and it's because a lot of people are asking me that. And one, I'd say the biggest thing is to really evaluate the reason that you want to do it, because if you want to do it for fame and money, this may not be for you, because there's plenty of actors out here that are just, you know, they make their living on it and are not famous ever, but they love doing it so much, and it is their consistent job. But I think for a lot of people that wouldn't be enough, because they think being an actor, you need to be like Leo DiCaprio, you need to be this person, be that person. You may never get there, you know? And so if you love doing it for the art and that's why you're doing it, then I think you can make yourself happy. But it's really just doing it for the right reasons in my head. You know?
Gotcha. That's a really good point. Who like mainly did you like inspire you to do all this? Was it mainly just like self-motivation, or is it like anyone in particular that kind of like sparked the idea to like, I want to do this for a living?
You know, it's funny enough. It was watching, one was when I was a kid, like, it's a long story, but there was some trauma early childhood, and I didn't have a lot of people to talk to, and movies were my like doctor. I could be inspired. It helped me deal with some issues. Like, it gave me different insights on things I was dealing with. And one guy that really did it for me, and it's funny because I met him about 4 years ago, was Jim Carrey.
Oh,
And
really?
it was just like, I want to be that person that can make someone laugh, cry, be inspired to call their mother because they haven't talked to her for a couple months. Like, just that guy that can help get to people in a way that I don't think another person could just talking to them. I think that's the beauty of art of movies, is that it can transcend. Yeah. So.
Or like living through the movie, basically.
Yeah.
That's so sick. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm a big like YouTube guy. Like, I don't watch a lot of movies. I watch Netflix series mainly, just like Netflix, like Hulu. But yeah, it's like, love it. Like,
what's your favorite show on Netflix right now?
Come on.
You could be honest, man. I'm just kidding.
Well,
but it better be the right answer.
Well, I used to watch Netflix a lot, and my big series was Stranger Things. I used to watch that a lot. Huh?
So good. Such a great show.
It was really good. I liked the whole concept of like, just like everything about it was like so cool. Like how there's like an alien basically like taking over thing, and like they're trying to find it.
I was in callbacks for the role of Billy. Speaking to the guy, the new guy, Dacre Montgomery with the mullet, he plays the lifeguard, you know what I'm talking about? No.
Yeah.
He was up for that role.
I was, yeah. That was one of those ones I was talking about. Tina was like,
wow.
I was kind of close, and then I was just like, oh.
That's the one you were okay. That's the one you were.
That's not the one. I've been closer on other roles, but that was a role where like I saw how much it transformed that guy's life, and I was just like, man, But
yeah,
I'm glad it all worked out, because doing, if I'd gotten, I'm so happy where I'm at, and doing Never Have I Ever, that any of the roles that I've been sour over before, I may have not been able to do this show if I had those roles,
There you go. See, you know what? Yeah. Everything happens for a reason, right? If you would have gotten those roles, it might not have been this role. I'm going to ask you a question, Darren. For kids that are in high school that don't know what they want to do, you knew when you were 4 years old. If they don't know, they don't want to go to college. Is there any advice you could give them to point them in a direction, so how they would find their purpose? Anything that they would, first small step.
Yeah, I think it is, whatever, I mean, if something makes your heart beat so fast and everyone's telling you no, the hardest thing is to tell yourself, like, the juice is worth the squeeze. And it's really hard too as a kid, because you're vulnerable and your parents mean a lot and their opinions mean a lot. And I think it's finding a way to communicate that to the people around you in the best way possible, that this is what you want to do and this is why you want to do it, and really evaluate the reasons you want to do it. Write them down, shout them out to yourself, and see how much they make sense, and try to make them make sense to the people whose opinions matter most to you. Because the most detrimental thing is like, your parents telling you no, you can't do it. You're inclined to believe that. And it's up to you to really prove to yourself that you can do it. So finding the best way to do that, I think.
It's all up to you. It's all up to you, right?
Yeah.
Morgan, do you have any more questions?
Well, for clarification, my favorite Netflix series is Never Have I Ever right now. So.
He definitely, Darren, I can't get him to watch TV. Swear. We sat through 2 last night.
Brownie points. I'm going to get you a nice birthday present there, Morgan.
You're welcome. Yeah, no, me and my mom were watching it, and then but yeah, I'm gonna start finishing it off when I get to have it soon on Netflix.
I love it, man. Thank you so much.
It's like so relatable, because it's like high school students, like it's just almost every kid can just relate to like most scenarios. It's really cool.
That's what I like about it. Yeah, I think it's more real too than a lot of these teenage soaps. The really dramatic. Yeah. Like, I mean, no offense to these shows, but like Riverdale and all these other shows, it's like I don't like, that's obviously not every high school kid is dealing with like a murder, you know? Yeah.
Exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
one last question, Darren. What would be your last takeaway before we end here?
This is I mean, if the show in general, I think one thing everyone struggles with, and this is something that everyone in the world at any age struggles with, but especially in high school, is not being afraid to do you and be you. And every character in the show, just like every kid, because it's such a vulnerable age in high school and you're being pulled in so many different directions. And especially nowadays with social media, we're told who we need to look like, who we need to act like, who we need to dress like. And finding your own identity is almost impossible. So we put on this facade. And I think it's all about dropping the facade and owning you and falling in love with yourself so much, because when other people see you doing that, I think they fall in love too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. What an astute young man.
Thank you, Tina.
Amazing, and very talented too. So they can catch it on Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
for one. And when are we shooting the next? It's 9. There's only 9 episodes, correct?
10 episodes for season 1. We haven't gotten an official order for season 2 yet, but all the fans are begging for it. So
I think that's coming very soon. Well, we look forward to seeing more of you.
I have one last thing to add.
Okay.
Yeah, what's up?
What was it like filming? Like, was there like ups and downs? Was it just super fun the whole time?
It was a dream the whole time, man. We were doing it on the Universal Studios back lot, and I've taken that tram ride since I was 4 years old. And
yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
you know, Freddy Krueger used to chase me with the knife on the train. Yeah,
exactly, man. Yeah, so it was cool. Like, we'd have to cut at certain scenes because the tram had to go by, and we'd hear them on the speaker calling out like, "Never have I ever," shooting right now, and it was just like a real surreal moment. So no complaints. Loved everyone. Loved the cast. Loved the creators. It was an absolute dream.
Yeah, I've never been to like something like that behind the scenes, so I was really curious on how it like all operated and stuff and whatnot.
It was legit, man. It was a good time.
All right, Darren. Well, thank you so much for making time for us. So proud of you, and I see nothing but good things all the way around for you. Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much. I love you both very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Take it easy. Bye, buddy.
Bye.
All right. Bye, guys.
See you next time.
All right. Next time. Bye.